Well, I was, really proud of our players, the way they played today. I think this is as close to Alabama football in terms of what we want to try to get from our players, in terms of the effort, the toughness, the emotional excitement, the execution that we got for the most part, throughout the game. Our approach to this game was, we wanted to define exactly what every position has to do, what every player has to do, and see if you can go out there and dominate your box and do your job. I don't think we had many penalties. Played with a lot of discipline. Quarterback executed the system extremely well. Lots of guys made plays defensively. This is the best we played against this kind of offense. Had to make some adjustments in the game, but the players did a really good job, and I thought being physical, breaking on the ball, really had an effect on the game. I think we affected the quarterback with our pass rush. I thought special teams was a real positive for us. We had lots of guys in there at the end, giving them a chance to play, and they had a kickoff return against us, but a lot of opportunity for a lot of guys to play. So I was really proud of the way our guys responded. I think some of this started last week with, guys just kind of turning it loose and playing hard, playing physical, and being more disciplined to execute, playing within the system. And I really was very, very proud of the way our team played today. This was a really good, game for us, a big game for us, and we have a lot of respect for the kind of team that they have. So to do it against a very good team is all the more reason to be proud.
Start on the right there. I don't want to be oversimplistic, but in terms of your offensive production, did it start up front, establishing the line of scrimmage from your offensive line?
I don't think there's any question about it. We had a little gathering with the offensive line, this week, and I said, look, guys, you guys are starting to feel pressure. You're being criticized. You're not sort of being the sergeant at arms that we need you to be in terms of how you control the line of scrimmage, how you dominate the line of scrimmage, because none of these other guys are going to make any plays unless you guys do that. And I believe in you. I trust in you. And I think that other than the center, we got the same offensive line that had great production early in the season. And I believe we can do it again. I just think everybody's got to finish better, do a little bit better job of preparing, and getting ready to play. But not being confident and not believing that you can do it is not acceptable, and not affecting other people on our offense, because you guys are the guys that's going to make everybody go by what you do. And I was really proud of the way they did that today.
First, I want to see if you get an update on Austin Shepard and Jonathan Allen.
Everybody's okay. Shep probably could have played in the second half if we needed to. Jonathan Allen just had cramps. They gave him a couple IVs, so he really wasn't injured. He was just cramping. Shep's fine. Sprained his ankle, sprained his knee a little bit, but he should be fine.
Also, it seemed like the pass rush was really effective early and sort of got Kenny Hill rattled. Just how important was that to sort of set the tone throughout the game?
Well, they went a lot of empty early in the game. Gave us some, pretty crazy formations to try to adjust to. But I think the thing that saved us early on before we can adjust to those things was that we did get good pass rush. They only got 5 guys to block, and, we hit them with, a couple pressures. But I think the best thing that we did, which was one of the key things in the game, is we affected the quarterback with 4 guys rushing. And I think that was the real key to the game. I think that secondary did a good job of disguising, better than we ever have before when we played these guys. And we didn't have to put an extra guy in the box all the time to stop the run. So that certainly helped in pass defense. So front did a really good job.
On the right, DC.
Looked like the team had a lot of energy, or maybe a different energy, on the sideline, really from the beginning. Did you sense that, and did you see that?
Well, I think it started in the fourth quarter of last week's game. That's the kind of energy and enthusiasm we've been trying to get our guys to play with. And, a lot of anxiety, You know, a lot of expectations, a lot of anxiety that guys play with that we've been trying to get rid of, you know, on our team. And just, you know, I said this earlier in the week, Jay Sewell came and told me a story about Secretariat. They had all that money in that horse, all of it. They had to win the Triple Crown. They had all kinds of anxiety about what they were going to do, how they were going to run the race. The lady just finally said, just let them run. Won by 31 lengths. All right, so sometimes you get people so tight and so tensed up and anxious that they don't play with the kind of personality that they're capable of. That's something that we've been working on, you know, since the Ole Miss game, and I think our players have responded to it, and I think they're having more fun playing, all right, which is really what we want them to do.
Michael and Andrew. Amari Cooper had 9 catches, which was a much bigger part of the offense this week. Was any kind of change in the game plan or anything different?
They didn't roll up on him all the time. All right, so, you know, some of the stuff was just built into the run game, and he did a good job. Blake did a good job of getting out there to him at the right times, and he did a good job of, you know, making plays with it, making them miss. So little different scenario in terms of how they played us.
Just kind of following up on that, what you saw from Blake after the last couple games where he struggled, and particularly what he was able to do with his feet today.
Well, you know, I think that, you know, the big thing with Blake is Blake's got to understand he's got to execute the system. And when Blake does that, he plays extremely well. When Blake starts thinking he's got to make all the plays, then the other guys aren't making plays. And there were too many occasions in the last 2 games where whatever the read is, whatever the execution should have been, it didn't really get done that way. And whether we made a play or we didn't really doesn't matter. We're still not executing the system like we need to. That was the challenge for him today. He did a tremendous job of responding to it and did a really, really good job of executing the system. But, you know, Blake can run. He's very athletic. He pulled the ball in the zone read today effectively, you know, for a long touchdown run. A couple other times he did it, it was a minimal gain. But the threat that he can do it certainly makes it more difficult for them to display, you know, our other basic runs.
All right, Wayne.
Coach, you talked about guys playing with more energy and more enthusiasm. Why do you think it sort of took to this point in the season? It seemed like something that might have been something that could happen right off the gate.
Well, I think they wanted to all along. You know, I tried to answer that question before where, you know, I just thought there was a lot of anxiety on our team. You know, a lot of guys worrying about expectations being defined by external factors rather than you make you. You know, you make you who you are by what you do. And that's what we've been trying to sell to our players. It's all about the team. It's all about what we do, how we do it. And everybody's got to forget about all that other stuff. And it does affect you. And it affects a lot of teams. That's why you see these top teams, you know, struggling. All of a sudden you start playing like you're number one rather than playing like you need to play to win and be successful. And that creates a lot of anxiety, which is not really great for performance.
Last one, Rick.
I don't think the 1-2's any greater now. I just think the players are more relaxed, playing the way we want them to play.
Can you comment more on maybe where that anxiety came from, Coach?
Excuse me?
Where'd the anxiety come from? Was it the media created, the fans, too much expectation?
I really don't know. I mean, we're always trying to get the players on focusing on the things that they can control. And that's, you know, really what we need to do. But I just think that for whatever reasons, you know, this team seemed to, maybe it's young, maybe it's inexperienced. You know, they got really, really nervous before games, and we've been really trying to get them to just say, hey, cut it loose, play hard, have fun, play with good intangibles. You know, effort, toughness, and discipline to execute. Most important things, and they don't take any ability. And that's what we've been trying to be very, very simple and basic with what our guys do. I'm not blaming you guys for anything. I'm responsible for it all. All right, so if you want to criticize me, I guess it's me. But we don't put those kind of expectations on our team. All we want our guys to do is play their best football, and I was really proud that our team played their best football today.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.